Yo, what is going on, guys? Carnage back here again, and today I'm back with a brand new video. Uh, this video is going to be my haul from the 2025 Kansas City Comic-Con. Picked up a lot of amazing things, met a couple amazing actors, two people that I've actually really glad I got the chance, to meet. And I did pick up quite a few action figures. So, without any further ado, let me just get started with the first pickup I had, which was actually the day before a Comic Con. So, my friend and I went to a comic book store, and I picked up the Kid Omega from the, I know I'm probably going to butcher this, the Chod wave, basically the Starjammer's big guy. Picked him up for about $15, which not terrible. I'm going to be trying to turn this into a custom Invincible. I will definitely be changing the head quite a bit just because I'm not a huge fan of how it looks. But I mean, the body, though, that is pretty phenomenal. And that was the first thing I picked up, you know, before the convention. Now going for, all the stuff I did pick up at the convention. Now there are a handful of books that I will be saving until last, which I'm gonna call kind of like the bigger books. But before I get to that, I'll show the figures I picked up on the first day. The first one I found was Hawkeye, and this is the Return of Marvel Legends one. This is kind of what I like to think of as his, definitive MCU look. I've been trying to find this guy for a while, but I have not been able to find him for less than like $40 on eBay. I found him for like $10 at this con. He didn't come with a bow, but he did come with like his arrow pack, which was pretty cool. And I mean, I can always use a bow from another Hawkeye, but I mean, for $10, not a bad deal, especially with that fluorescent, metallic purple. I really love that. One of the cooler Hawkeyes. The next one I found was the retro card Human Torch, which I did have one at one point, and then I gave it to my friend because he wanted, a Human Torch, and I was like, oh, I have this one. I don't really have a use for it at the moment, and kind of regretted giving it to him because I think he quit collecting like a month or so later, which kind of hurt. But I mean, whatever. But finally got him again. This one I also got for $10. And this last Marvel Legend, which I actually got basically complete, it's only missing like two small accessories. I found the what's it called? The retro card Moon Knight, which got this for 15. Well, technically $10 because I found all three of these at the same place, and I got him. I asked if I could have all three of them for 30. The guy was like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah, so pretty happy with that. Really cool Moon Knight. I really do like the, white on it, especially like the emblem, how that's shiny. That's just beautiful in my opinion. And I am gonna wait to show the other figures. I'm gonna show all the comics from kind of what I think is the most important to, or not the most important, just kind of start slow and then build up. I did find the first appearance of Herbie, Fantastic Four, issue 209. I already do have a copy of this, but mine's missing like this much of the cover. And, like this was actually half priced, so instead of 15 I paid 7 for it, which not bad at all. Especially, if Herbie is going to be coming to, the Fantastic Four movie, which I am kind of excited about. Now, the next book, well, truthfully, like most of this pile that I'm going to be showing next is just purely Invincible comics, and Invincible comics were kind of my main priority at this convention. So the first one I'm going to show, which is kind of the lowest Invincible I picked up, issue number 26, which I did pick up for like $20. I asked for, if he'd take 20, he was like, sure. Which, pretty cool. First appearance of Oliver as, a baby. And I do have 27, 28, and 29, I know. So, finally got that little bit of the story. Very happy about that. This one I actually picked up today. Issue 37, I think, gosh, I think this is the one where, or that's issue 50. I don't quite remember. But, Invincible versus the Reanimen. Pretty cool. Really cool cover, by the way. This one I also picked up today. Issue 52 of Invincible. I want to say this one might be the death of the Mauler twins. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to open it up and check, just because I am kind of curious now. Oh, yep, I was right. Death of the Maulers. Which, a little bit of a spoiler for those of you who have not seen Season 3 yet, but, it's been a few weeks, so if you haven't gotten to it quite yet, what's wrong with you? Watch Invincible. This next one, I was super surprised to, see it for as cheap as it was. The first appearance of Powerplex, and I know this book has been, raising in price. I actually got this, for $10 because I bought 2 other books with it, and he was knocked, a couple bucks off the total, which was pretty cool of the guy. Issue number 59, First Powerplex, which, let me just say, Aaron, oh, I forgot his last name, but I know the guy who played Jesse did a fantastic job. This one, I do think I kind of overpaid a little bit for. Like, I know it's kind of raising up in price, but I mean, still, I think I paid like $40 for this, which, I mean, I later looked it up when I got back to, put it in my collection. I did overpay by like double, but I mean, it's more likely going to raise up, which, I mean, expected. But anyway, issue 65, the big, I'm not going to, say what issue it is, just for, the people who haven't seen the show yet. But, and I did actually forget one book that's not really a key or anything. It's just one I kind of, because I really enjoy the 2015 Secret Wars, and I'm trying to kind of get everything related to that. This is issue number 1 of Hail Hydra. Whoops. And this is the only book that I got that's not in a bag and board. Really cool cover. Haven't read it yet, but it was $2, so I'm not going to complain. Another cool one I got was the first appearance of Dinosaurus, issue number 68 of Invincible, which, phenomenal that I found this for $10, because he's going to basically be the next, big bad for the next season, at least in my head, because, we've gotten up to, 60, roughly, just according to, comic-wise, at least issue 65. Because that's roughly where the last episode ended. And then, 68. Very excited. And also Dinosaurus, one of the coolest characters in Invincible, in my personal opinion. And then the next one I have up is issue 72. And this is the actual death of Conquest, which, and if you look down there, you can see Conquest. I don't even know who the hell that guy is, but he looks like he's on something. And then there's Lugan, I think that's his name. Very, very cool. And then, I'm not going to say this is the last Invincible book, because I do have a couple other ones that are kind of slightly bigger keys. But I did find issue number 111. This is the second print, but this is the death. I'm not going to spoil it, but this is the death of kind of one of the bigger characters in Invincible, along with a few others, I want to say. I might be mistaken about that. Alright, and then now we're going to be kind of getting into the bigger stuff. These next two are pretty cool, because they're both pretty big first appearances of characters. This one I was surprised to find for as cheap as it was. This is issue number 44, the first appearance of Anissa. Kind of forgot her name for a second, but she, does something to the main character, which I'm not going to spoil / say because it's very, very not good. But issue number 44, and this book was $60, man. And I've never seen it for anything cheaper than like 90 to 100. So seeing it for 60, I physically just had to go grab it, man. I really did. And also at the same place, I found this one. This is issue number 61, the first appearance of Conquest. And I know 62 and 63 kind of, coincide with each other, because that's like the entire thing with Mark versus, Conquest. And just because I have not opened this yet, and just because of the fact that I rewatched the episode today when I got back from Kansas City, which, let me just say, longest 4-hour drive of my life. I hate being in cars for that long, man. It's so unfun. Wait. I have to do it like this. Stand ready for my arrival, worm. And let me just say, Jeffrey Dean Morgan killed it, man. There he is, man. And then, just because I legally have to show this, there it is. The big fight scene. There's a little glare on it, but it's so cool, man. And it's a very good copy, too. I will admit that. And, I mean, I know this book is kind of escalated in price, but, I mean, I got it at the same booth where the Anissa book was. And it was like $80, if I remember correctly. Which, I mean, with how big that book is right now, $80 is, like, very good. Because I haven't seen it for anything lower than, like, gosh, like 150, 120 something. And that's on eBay. Which, phenomenal. And then these next two books don't have any key significance, but they are both very cool because they are signed by the actors. The first one I'm going to show is actually one of my personal favorite comics at the moment. It's only had 2 issues, and I think it's like a 5-issue limited series, but Power Man Timeless. And Mike Coulter, man, such a nice man. Very nice. I was actually cosplaying Wolverine that day, and he complimented, my facial hair because I had it shaved like Wolverine. And this is cool because he put it Mike Coulter, aka Luke Cage. That was so cool. And I do have pictures, which I will, if I figure out how to do it, I will put them at the end of the video. Because, I had such a fun time, and it was so cool. And then the next person, who was the main person I was really ecstatic to see, was Vincent D'Onofrio, aka the Kingpin to, Daredevil. Like, for the current Daredevil, series that's going on. And I had him sign the Alex Ross cover, and there's his signature right there. So cool, man. He was such a nice guy, too. And let me just say, he has definitely lost quite a bit of weight from, because I haven't watched Daredevil Born Again yet, so I don't know if there's like a whole reasoning behind it, or if he's losing weight for his health. I mean, either way, he was still very intimidating, man. Like, even though he wasn't acting like the Kingpin, he was looking like the Kingpin. That's just the best way I can really describe it. But he was so nice. Both him and Mike Coulter were very nice, very awesome people. And this last book, I'm going to wait until I show the rest of my stuff first. So I do have a little baggie of minifigures. This first one, not really a minifigure, it's a 3D printed thing, but it's of a platypus. And it's printed like Perry the Platypus, and I love that. That's so cool, man. And this was only like $3, man. So cool. So happy I have that. And then I did get quite a bit of other minifigures. And by that, I mean, they had this thing where you could get 5 of them for like $20, which I thought was not a bad deal at all. So I did kind of, like, a couple of them do go together, and then I do have one that's just kind of weird and out of place, which I'll show right now. From one of my favorite TV shows growing up, Dexter Morgan. He came with a little knife and a little bit of a blood thing, and very good sculpting, not sculpting, details on this little thing. Pretty cool. Really happy I got that. These next two are pretty cool, because, you know, last year I met the guy, the actor who played him. Here is Shaggy, aka Matthew Lillard. I know this is not based off of that, but, you know, trying to afford, like, the actual Lego Shaggy is going to be expensive. So I thought, might as well buy a $5, you know, copy. And then you can't have Shaggy without Scooby-Doo, man. And this Scooby-Doo is amazing, by the way. I really do like it. And then these next two do kind of go along with, you know, the whole Invincible theme. I did get a Lego Omni-Man, and you can't have a Lego Omni-Man without a Lego Invincible, which, cool thing about the Invincible, he does have a, you know, switch around head, but this is the one that kind of looks the most like the train scene, in my opinion, which at some point, I hope to, like, at least build that into Lego, I mean. Because one of my personal favorite scenes, I know how demented that sounds, but it's one of my personal favorites. And then next up, I'll show the action figures that I picked up today, which I did get a few of them, and by a few I mean like 5 of them today. Yeah, 5 of them. So in total, from this show, I picked up 9 action figures. Dang, that's quite a bit. I got this because, like, after watching the Conquest thing, I was like, I want a Conquest figure, but none of them, they haven't made one yet, so I found a Caliban, which, funny enough, I haven't even built this guy in general, and then the Build-A-Figure itself is like $30, which is stupid. It's really stupid. Like, I paid $30 for this guy, which, I mean, I'm not complaining about. Like, the most difficult part is definitely going to be, you know, the hand. But, I mean, and I know painting him white's going to be difficult, too, from what my friend IZ Art said, but, you know, just gotta have a little patience. I did also pick up this guy for $10. This is Vulcan, and I thought he would be a good base body for the Immortal, because I saw a few Immortal head sculpts that looked very good, and I was like, this body might work for it. And let me just say, I'm not excited to try and paint the Immortal's outfit. That's going to be a nightmare and a half. And then the last figure I picked up at the convention, because I did pick up exactly 2 more on the way out at a different comic shop. I did find a 3.75-inch Havoc, which I thought was pretty cool. I really like this outfit for Havoc. Really cool. And then at this comic shop that I went to, I did find Speedball for $6, which, I mean, I'm going to practice, you know, at least trying to customize on, you know, something. And I thought this, you know, might be a good practice. Like, it's $6, so, I mean, worst case scenario, I just mess up the paint and, you know, kind of just restart. But, I mean, I was going to try to make this into the regular Invincible color. Or costume, I mean. Which, I mean, definitely going to be fairly easy, I'd assume. All I'd really have to do is just kind of, you know, just figure out how to paint / you know, sand and stuff like that. And then the last thing I picked up that's action figure based is this. This is a Union Jack. I do have a Union Jack technically, but mine is missing a hand and doesn't have any of the accessories. And I've been really wanting a Union Jack for a while. So finally getting one that's like complete, and like he is complete because he does have the gun and his knife is on the side of him. Don't know if you can see that, but very cool, very, very happy with that. And then I did kind of forget about this just until now, but I did pre-order this, and it said it was going to come in April, but, you know, showed up way earlier than, you know, it said it would, which not complaining about. I did pick up the Nemesis Wave Gambit, which the only figure I actually pre-ordered from that wave. The Wolverine I found at a GameStop, and am going to be having my friend Izzy make that into a custom Ultimate Wolverine, just because, you know, he knows how to sculpt and stuff. I don't really want to try to attempt something like a mask quite yet, but, you know, very happy to have him. And then this last book is actually the one I am the most excited to have, just because this kind of goes along with my Wolverine collection, and it's a pretty big Wolverine book, other than the 181. And that would be The Incredible Hulk number 180. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, this book is beat the fuck up. Like, I mean, the spine is just kind of fucked. Like, it has a lot of damage on it, like right there. And then it does have something that looks like something was starting to eat it. And then other than that, like, lots of just damage on the side. And I know most people say this is kind of like a cameo appearance of Wolverine, but I mean, he does speak in it, so I mean, this is technically the Wolverine's first appearance, but I'm assuming more people like the next book because it's, you know, has him on the cover, which I completely understand that, but I mean, at the same time, this is his first ever anything in anything, you know? Which, phenomenal. Very, very ecstatic to finally, you know, basically get all the big keys for Wolverine out of the way. And I mean, I'm just going to be honest, I paid $320 for this. And this is a extremely, extremely beat up copy. I will admit that. But I mean, I am so happy to, you know, basically have all of Wolverine's biggest books out of the way, excluding the giant size X-Men number 1, which is, you know, his first time on the X-Men team, which that's a different story for a different day, whether I'll get that or not. But as of now, I am very happy to just have my 180 and 181 in my collection, which so grateful that I get the opportunity to at least go to Comic Cons and stuff like that. It's a fun experience, and I do hope everyone watching this gets to go to a Comic Con at some point in their life, because they are very fun, especially when you go with friends, like I did. So, enough of that. That's basically everything I have for you guys today. So definitely, I really enjoyed everything I picked up, but I do gotta say, very happy with the Moon Knight and, you know, the Hulk 180, along with, you know, the Invincible 44 and 61, the two biggest keys I picked up, excluding this, of course. But yeah, very happy with everything I picked up. It'll make a nice addition to my collection. I did spend an excessive amount of money. Not going to say how much because I don't want to, you know, dig myself a deeper hole than I'm already in. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, if you want me to review any of the action figures I showed in this video, just let me know down below. And yeah, with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I love you all, and I appreciate it. And I will catch you later. So, peace.